Hey team, it's day 3. I hope you're doing well. I want to jump into our day 3 results quickly. I did get a question from one of the viewers on calories and drinks, and also on artificial sweeteners and things. So we want to jump into that after we get through our daily goals. And remember, the primary thing is our calories as we walk through this. But when you take a look at weight perspective, I was 229 this morning, and you might think, well, 229, you didn't lose any weight. And well, that's okay, right? Remember, our daily weigh-ins are A, to keep us accountable, B, to track our trends over time on our weight loss. So when you have to step on a scale every day, you keep that in mind as you eat during the day with your calorie counter application that you have on your phone and other things. But that daily weigh-in is crucial to ensure you can track your progress over time and look at the trends. But it does also help you to celebrate a little bit. But as far as not losing any weight, there's a number of different reasons it could be. Like, I ate later last night because of all the activities I had. I lost 3 pounds already, so there's maybe not as much water in my body that's retained and things of that nature. So any number of reasons. Don't freak out. Remember, it's a daily thing that we want mostly from an accountability and overall trend perspective. Calories, this is the most important thing. 1874, lower than the other day with 2310. It's actually underneath the range that I want, but I got a lot of extra stuff stored here. If my body starts to feel like it needs something, it can hopefully go eat from here. It's not that big of a deal to me to be low. As a matter of fact, it wasn't that far underneath. But 1874, I'm not going to eat. Like, if you're under your range, that's okay. You might worry about, starvation. It takes a long time. Like, we could do like 5 videos on what they call the starvation mode and things of that nature. Trust me, if you're trying to lose a lot of weight and you have a bunch of extra stored adipose tissue or fat around, you don't have to worry about that for a little bit. So, as it relates to water, got 125 ounces in. My goal is 115, which is half my weight in ounces, but a gallon's 128, so I'm like, I'm almost there. I might as well just shoot for right around that gallon every day. Got 125 ounces. Pretty happy about that. Sleep, I got 7 hours. Went to bed a little later than I would have liked last night. I actually had Susan and Perry from my group, coaching group, helping me last night with the technical issue I had a lot longer than they needed to. I really appreciate those two. So thank you so much, Susan and Perry, for helping me last night. That's great, but caused me to get a little later. I still got my 7 hours. I did move my timing back a little bit just to make sure that I did get my full 7. The activity, I got 40 minutes. I walked it yesterday and listened to some of my books. Also made a few phone calls, but I'm not liking the fact that I haven't lifted in 2 days. It bothers me. That's just kind of my zen. It kind of gives me my relaxation, and that's what really this activity is for. Remember, I told you, this is number 1, your calories. You got to hit your calories. If you don't hit your calories, you're not going to get your goal, right? Abs are made in the kitchen, correct? Got to hit our calories, right? So I have been hitting my calories, but I also like to unwind. And when I lift, it just is one thing that I really like to do. So like, pick the activity that you like to do and move. So I'll get there today. I got a better schedule today and a plan on doing it. Protein, I got in 229 grams. It's nice. It's actually exactly 1 pound or 1 gram per pound of body weight. And so definitely got there. So guess what? No red today. So that's awesome. But I want to run one more time. The trifecta again: calories, sleep, and water. But your calories, your calories are what you need to get. Like, that's your battle. That's your daily battle. Your calories are your daily battle. These other ones are really good to have. I would say sleep's right up there with it, and water's super important as well as you get further into it to get to your water. But calories are your battle. Like, this overall 90 days is your war, right? And you have your daily battles. And really, are you winning or losing this battle with calories? And you got to win it the majority of time. Like, almost all the time, you got to win it if you have an aggressive goal like I do over these 90 days. So this is your battle. All these are actually part of the battle. This is your main battle. You got to win that one as much as you can. And if you win most of those battles over the course of the war, you're going to win the overall war, which is achieving your goal of weight loss. So keep that in mind. Remember, the protein is optional for me. I like it. To me, I've read that it's thermogenic, so it takes a little more calories to burn it, things of that nature. And I also like it for the satiety, the fullness it gives me as well with the water. So anyway, didn't have to use the red at all. So that's a pretty good day. Hopefully you guys had the same. So when we take a look at this, just before we start, the DYOR, do your own research. That's what it stands for. Now, I just have to set up a little disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I don't have a medical degree. I'm not a nutritionist, right? I've been studying this stuff for a long time, and I like to say manipulating my body. So I've tried a lot of different things over the course of the years. Being a college athlete and stuff, you just do. And plus, I don't know if you guys remember me talking about it in the first one, I'm battling my own genetics of just most everyone in my my family's overweight. I think you remember my saying, you know, obesity runs in our family. It's like, no, nothing runs in your family. That's why you're all overweight. And so I am constantly having to battle that, but I'm never going to use it as an excuse. As it relates to the calories and drinks, do your own research. So everything I talk about, please, that's part of that disclaimer, coming full circle is do your own research, right? I mean, this is my opinions. Like I said, I'm not a medical doctor, but do your own research. I think you're going to find that a lot of the things I say probably sit well with you, but there might be things you question. And you know what? That'd be a great discussion point to bring up in a video. But the first thing I want to talk about is calories and drinks. Too many days out of the month, I go and I get my blonde Americano from Starbucks, a venti, and I have them put heavy cream in it, right? And it's either 2 or 3 tablespoons they put, depending on if I ask for just heavy cream or extra heavy cream. And I have them steam it because I'm a little high maintenance and I don't like my drink to get cold. But when you take a look at that, you say, the question was, you know, like, tell us about the calories or in drinks and tracking those. Don't forget to track the drinks that you consume because they have calories. And when you take a look at just my Americano, that's 150 calories. That's darn near 10% of what I ate yesterday. So I'm sacrificing, you know, 7% of my calories every day. 7 to 10%, well, 7%, don't worry, to have my Americano, and I really like it. So, because I like that heavy cream. Now, I might start trying half and half. So this is where you start to negotiate. If you use a calorie tracker, like half and half, I would be at about 1/3 of those calories. I'd be at like 50 calories, right? So, and you know what? 100 calories, that's 4 ounces of chicken. Now we start to talk a little bit as like, okay, can I handle some half and half and, you know, eat another chicken breast or another 100 calories of something else to make me feel more full during the day? Still gonna be the same calories overall, which, what's our main goal? Calories. But that's what you kind of try and, you know, you start to negotiate some of those things, right? Venti Frappuccino, 600 calories, and that's like just average for one of those Frappuccinos, you know? So look at some of this, a latte, 300 to 600 calories. Like, and do all of you have the same calorie goals that I do? You know, if you're not as big as I am, you know, you probably have a little less calorie goals than I do. So if you're drinking some of these Frappuccinos and even like getting heavy cream in your Americano, like, you remember what I said about eating calories as opposed to drinking them. Like, you get way more full eating the calories and actually chewing and drinking some water and things. You actually get more full with that. So I would say limit as much as you can the calories and the stuff that you drink. You're really gonna find that you don't get much enjoyment or fullness for your body out of that as you're cutting weight, for lack of better terminology. Now let's go to artificial sweeteners. So it's like, okay, well, let me drink some stuff, but I'll drink it with the sweetness, but no calories. That'll work, right? Yes and no. You know, overall, like the artificial sweeteners themselves, in the calorie game, you're correct. They do not count against you in the calories. That's just a fact. They're not worth a calorie, right? So in the calorie game, they're good. But in the study that I'm going to reference, and I'll put the link in the post, is from the Cleveland Clinic, and it takes a look at like 3 main things with artificial sweeteners. There's also a ton of other links in the study that I'm going to go through, the articles, and it's got a bunch of other studies linked to it. So you can dive really deep down a rabbit hole with this and go ahead and do it. I think you guys should be as informed as you can be as it relates to these types of things, because you hear a ton of different things that are sometimes untrue. So go do your own research. But inside of the Cleveland Clinic's article that is referencing a bunch of studies, the first one they looked at is that artificial sweeteners, specifically soda or pop, depending on what side of the country you're from, is associated with weight gain. So they had 2 groups, and you know, the ones that ate food and then drank what I call a diesel soda, or a fully sugar solo, like real sugar soda, and ones that ate and then they drank the diet soda or the unleaded, you know, soda. And in the end, the people that drank the artificial sweeteners soda tended to gain more weight. And you may wonder why, and it's, well, the sweetness of drinking those artificial sweeteners and all those drinks, like let's say you have 10 Diet Cokes a day or 5 Diet Cokes a day or whatever, causes you to maybe have an increased desire for sweetness or that sweet tooth. I mean, I love Snickers, I love Oreos, I love Oreo Blizzards, I love all that kind of stuff. And I wonder sometimes if it isn't related to how much of the artificial sweeteners that I used to drink, and I still drink them. Like, I haven't completely eliminated. I love a Diet Mountain Dew, you know, or if I don't have time, you know, for a coffee, or I really need some caffeine, I'll run by and grab a Monster or something. I still haven't eliminated them completely, but I'm definitely working towards that. So in any one of these things, you know, from a moderation perspective, yeah, you know, you're going to drink them, but in the same sense, do your research and see what you think overall. But they tended to gain less weight, and when you drank the diesel one. So when you look at that, you're also going to have less chance of comorbidity if you don't gain as much weight. So it was really interesting when you take a look at it. The second one is it may cause insulin confusion. Like, if you don't have calories or quote unquote real sugar in the calories that you're drinking, you know, you shouldn't get an insulin response. You may know this, may not know this, but insulin is kind of the key that your body uses. It's a hormone that your body uses to drive the sugar into your muscles. And then when the sugar is not used, it's actually stored in your liver to be used during times of fasting and things of that nature. But insulin is that hormone that puts it into your muscles. So when you get this insulin confusion, in this study, it was sucralose, I think it was, people were consuming, and they were getting an artificial insulin response. And what it says in the study and what it relates to is that the more you're in kind of that anabolic or insulin state, it can lead to insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes. And then they even reference it could lead to stroke. And I didn't know that. I'd have to do more research, but very interesting on the insulin confusion. You might want to read more about that. And then another thing is, the last one that I thought was super cool was it might change your brain's reaction to sweetener, to sweetness, right? So what it referenced in here is, if you do drink or consume a lot of artificial sweeteners, go over and like eat an apple or a banana and things of that nature and see how sweet it is to you. And if it's not that sweet or doesn't taste sweet at all, you might have, you know, altered your brain's reaction to sweetness. And that one, like, oof, I'm kind of scared to go take a bite out of an apple or a banana right now. But, you know, it's interesting of all the stuff that is in that article. But I'll put the link in the end of this post, and let me know what you think. But overall, to recap, hit your calories, try to get all 6 in a day, track your calories in your drinks, come on now, track them, and then, you know, do a little research if you want extra research on the artificial sweeteners, with my disclaimer of I'm not a doctor, medical professional, nutritionist, whatever you want, strictly my opinion here and for my educational purposes only and as I go through this, but I really enjoy this kind of stuff, so I thought I'd share with you. So have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, please post them, and I'll try and address them in subsequent videos.